What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone 2 Kappa Mode. Oh yeah, guys, so last episode we hooked up a lot of stuff with our applied energistics. We got the, the quantum link chamber hooked up in the last millennium, so we're able to see all the different things that we have there here. So also, I just got done hooking up, or I guess planting some redstone seeds over there, so we now have redstone essence available. Now, there's a reason I didn't make this stuff directly into the redstone, because you can do that. If you auto craft it, you can turn it into the redstone to the redstone blocks and all that kind of stuff. We did not do that because I want to make sure that we have the redstone essence available so we can use this to turn Certus quartz into charged Certus quartz. Yeah, we don't really have a good way to do that. We could hook up the charger, but that takes a little bit of time and it requires power and all that kind of stuff. So it's just easier to hold on to the redstone essence and just convert it as we need to. So it's a simple crafting recipe, and there's a stack of charged Certus, right? So I like that. Yeah, I think eventually we're gonna have more upgrades so we can hold more than 2048 of the redstone essence. I think that's how much each of these. What's the maximum? It seems like we got different values of each of these, huh? I think it's 2048 in the storage drawer by default. And then I have a few extra stacks of these different things here that I brought from the last millennium. But yeah. So anyway, I think we will put upgrades in there so we can hold a lot more in our storage that we're keeping there in the future. So things that I've been working on around here, I've been trying to figure out how we're going to get all of these things connected together. I did disconnect these back here because we're going to be looking at doing the P2Ps here pretty soon. We're just going to need 32 channels per corner, and you can't do that out of one dense cable. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be easier to do the P2Ps. So I did put a P2P tunnel ME here. This will transfer 32 channels from the controller over here and then up into this thing through this one regular cable. I did make red cable. What we're gonna try and do is make all of our cables that are just specifically tunneling these P2Ps from the controller around with like red cable or some other kind of colored cable. And then we have to use a different colored cable here so these two don't connect. If you use Fluix, the Fluix connects to this and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of using the colored cables. So anyway, that's the way we're going to do this. I think it's going to be pretty good anyway. I think it'll make sense once we get everything hooked up, and I like it. So what we need to do is get more controllers going. And that's kind of what I was working on next. I was going to get this top ring of our 7x7 multi-block filled out. So we need 24 controller blocks to do that. If we take these, we only need 22 more, and I started working on making 22 more controllers. So to make those, we need Lumia, we need Enderium gears, and the machine frame reinforced. We got like all this stuff ready to go over here. The problem is the ME controller, or maybe it's not the ME controller itself, but the machine frame resonant that goes into the controller requires zombie electrodes. So a zombie electrode is made with 2 energetic alloy easy. It's made with silicon easy and basic capacitors. We have all of those. Zombie heads is the problem. Right now, I think we have like 5. We have less than 10, whatever it is, of those zombie heads. Not quite enough. Let's just look. We have 6. We have 6 zombie heads. So we need 22. We have 6. That's not enough, right? So we need to get ourselves a way to make more zombie heads. Now, the way I've been doing it before, as you guys know, is with our cobalt cleaver here that has a 100% chance to behead. And then I've been going over to our mob farm whenever we get a random zombie that's spawned because, I don't know, I guess the zombies call for help when they take damage or whatever. You get a random zombie every now and then. Every time I pass by, I smack it. So we get some of them, but we just don't have quite enough. So what we could do is set up some kind of a spawner for them. We could set up some kind of a spawner to spawn them in. So there's like the auto spawner from MFR. We just have to have 1 zombie in a safari net. We need the mob juice, and then we need all of this stuff to do it. This recipe is a little expensive. It requires charged draconium. It requires sentient ender, so we need a witch. And a ender resonator, which is this stuff. This is easy. We can do those all day long. So that's a way. Then we need like this bus randomizer, which is a lot of crafting and stuff. And then we need all these, I don't know. There's the Ender IO powered spawner. Let's search for come on, powered spawner. There's these things here. I do believe these cost a lot of power and they require a lot of levels to change the type of the spawner. I don't even know. Have we gotten a broken spawner yet? Yeah, we've gotten plenty of broken spawners from the Urbis and stuff. Sentry. Oh yeah, we also get it from the Ether too. And looks like from Galacticraft. Okay, so we got a lot of different these spawners. Now, I believe to convert a spawner on an anvil, is that what it is? Do you do it on the anvil? No, you have to do... Oh, I can't remember now. It is this machine right here, the Soul Binder. I think it costs like 300 levels? I can't remember what it was. It's kind of crazy. Let's take a broken spawner. Antlion, Tracking Golem, Sentry. I'm just making sure we don't have a zombie. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's do one of these tarantulas. So we do that, and we need a soul vial that has a zombie in it. I've grabbed some monsters. Yeah, I've grabbed some as they're falling down out of that farm. It's kind of like a terrible way of doing it. So soul vial. We have a few zombies. We have some skeletons. I think I had one in here with like 0 health on a creeper. Was it? Yeah, this creeper right here I captured as it was dying and has no health. So if I were to place it, it would just die instantly. So let's go back to our zombie series. I grabbed this one. So we need that in this thing. And I can't remember. It's either this or combining the spawner with the powered spawner on an anvil costs a ridiculous amount of levels. This is fine. This is 20 levels. We can do that. Well, it does look like that's using 200,000 RF per tick to do this operation. Yeah, that's a little expensive on the power. We will be able to do that. I guess we're going to need an anvil. And we're also going to need the power spawner. I didn't even look. I didn't even look at what this thing cost. So we need to get ourselves a machine chassis. I think we have... Oh, we have a lot of this stuff already made. So we need a Franken zombie. So we need a Z-Logic controller with another zombie. Man, it costs so many zombies to do all this stuff. So Z-Logic, do we have... We don't have a Z-Logic. Okay, so the Z-Logic is made with 2 solarium, 2 silicon. We have plenty of silicon. We have plenty of solarium. It was redstone. And then a zombie head, I believe. Yeah, that's all pretty easy stuff. But there goes one more of our zombie heads that we need for other things, right? Okay, so we can do that right here. Just click these guys all in there. Okay, so there's that. So now we need another zombie in the soul binder. Turn that into the Franken zombie, I believe. Yeah, so a soul vial with a zombie in it, plus this. Okay, so I guess I just search for zombie and all these soul vials come up. Here's another one that's got low health, so I know that's a regular one. I think these other two right here are the zombie villagers that I was thinking about holding on to for later. Okay, so this is now done. That's empty. This is a zombie broken spawner, so we can do this plus this. That costs 10 levels, and that's done instantly, so super easy. Okay, so now we need to make our powered spawner. Click the thing. So there's the power spawner. So now we combine this and this together, and then we have a zombie powered spawner. Let's grab our anvil. Okay, so power spawner plus this, 300 levels. That's where it's like, oh man, do I really want to do this? Yeah, that's a little pricey. Thankfully, we've been letting our mob spawner go and collect experience into our experience obelisk for like forever now. So what do we got here? 800. So, you know what? I'm gonna put away like those extra ones. So there is 300 levels, and then we have 773 levels remaining. So we still got plenty of levels to go, and we can do this now. It's quite expensive, but I think it's gonna be worth it overall. Now I don't really know how many, or yeah, how much power these powered spawners take. I think we should be able to use them though. So let's put this here, 300 levels. Whew, that's expensive. Okay, so powered spawner. Does it say, okay, so it uses 16,000 RF per tick without any upgrades. So we put the octatic capacitor in there. We put this guy here. It requires 150,000 RF per tick. It is quite expensive. This is more of a late game item, but we can use it to spawn in zombies regardless and be able to capture them or kill them with our swords and get zombie heads that way. And I think that is definitely something I am interested in. Okay, so now that we have this thing, we gotta set down a spot for us to put it so we can keep the zombies contained. We're not gonna get hit by the zombies. We can capture them. So I guess I will set up a little spot, probably just some kind of enclosed thing so we can put the spawner in, run power there, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, well, I've done a few things between the last clip and now. One of those things is I was messing around with the Cobblestone framework we have over here. You can kind of see there's like little images of different machines on here now. Yeah, so as it turns out with the Cobblestone framework, since it makes cobblestone, which we needed, it can also make stuff like sand and gravel if you place in a sag mill in this little slot right here. So normally it'll only put cobblestone. You can put a machine right here, it'll process into the different materials that machine can make. So cobblestone gets turned into sand, but then it also makes a byproduct of gravel, I think, in the sag mill is how that works. Or maybe it's the other way around. But either way, we can take out a stack of that and it just automatically makes the next stack, right? So we always have those available. You can put an alloy smelter here and then you could smelt both of these items into the different materials that will make. It turns into quite clear glass if you have that in alloys only. It turns into glass if you have in furnace mode, and then it can also smelt the concrete from the gravel. So that's kind of cool. This is pretty useless, but that's kind of cool. So you can swap these out. Right now I have the alloy smelter in here. You can swap that out with a sag mill, and instead of getting the glass and these things, you can get flint and silicon. So it sounds to me like this is how we're going to get our silicon and stuff in the future. I don't think we're going to have a much use for flint, because yeah, we have like all of the flint over here. Well, we don't have all the upgrades in here, but we have like 2048 flint, and we're always making that stuff from these machines, right? So anyway, I thought this is kind of cool. This is a great way to get silicon automatically. It's a great way to get sand automatically, a great way to get gravel automatically, and then we can swap it out so it'll make the other things like concrete, vanilla glass, and the quite clear glass. So that's really awesome. I like this machine. So anyway, I was messing around with this. I got a lot of sand. I got my cobblestone out of there for building and things like that. Just pretty neat. I want to show you guys that. So far, this is what we got going over here. It is just a ugly cobblestone box. This is going to be a temporary thing. Definitely don't want this thing here permanently. But yeah, I have the conveyor belts, the extra utilities ones in here, and they are set up so like they kind of split the mobs up in a different direction or whatever. Oh, you know what? I guess I got to change this. Otherwise the mob's going to smack into this thing and not go anywhere. But anyway, I kind of want to make it so half of them go this way, half of them go that way, and they should all meet up in this corner when I get this one fixed. Let me get that fixed right now. Actually, not just this one, but this one too. Yeah, no, so both of those are incorrect. I didn't actually test that before. I was just kind of placing these things down. But anyway, we want the zombies to spawn here. We want them to get pushed over into this corner, and then I can just sit there with my cobalt cleaver and smack them and get the drops. I was also thinking we might be able to set this up to be automatic with an autonomous activator, but is this thing... This has reinforced 3 on it. It is not infinite durability, so this thing could break eventually, but I think we might want to set it up for some kind of an automation here. Anyway, we'll take a look at that and see what we can do. Let's place this block back here. Now, another thing I was doing, place it. I did put a redstone thing in here somewhere. It's attached to this block. I need to get myself a lever. I forgot to do that as well. Let's get ourselves a lever. We can turn the spawner on and off with that. So do we have a lever? We do. Oh, goody. Okay, so we have a lever here, so we can turn the spawner on and off with this. It should have power already, and I have it set to only work with a redstone signal. I haven't tried this thing yet. This spawning room right here is 9 by 9. So we got, I think, the maximum space available for zombies to spawn. It should be 100% dark in there. aside from the hole in the floor where maybe torchlight's coming up, everything else is dark. Nothing else will be spawning because we do have that magnum torch here. I don't think the magnum torch prevents these spawners from spawning. Let's find out. Let's just turn this thing on, see what happens. So it looks like, oh yeah. When they all come over here, Babby Zombie's gonna be able to get out. So that is something we're gonna have to worry about. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. So we can go ahead and kill these zombies pretty quickly, like this. And each one of these should be dropping a zombie head. As it is, cool. But yeah, that spawner's using 150,000 RF per tick. Let's just block this up real quick. I need to get these extra loot bags out of my inventory. What else do we have in here that's clogging up? I guess all this glass and other stuff that we just got out of the Cobblestone framework. I can put all this stuff away for now. So 9 zombie heads, that's pretty good. I can just sit there and farm them manually and get the things that I need. That should be fine for now. I'm curious though, if that is constantly drawing power. Are we using a lot of power? Where's my thing right here? Oh yeah. So even if it can't spawn, even if it's not spawning, it's got too many zombies around it. It is drawing that much power. That's a lot of power. Another thing I did is I went around and I upgraded all of our conduits to energy conduit. Yeah. We had, I think, the first tier everywhere, which does 30,000 RF per tick. This stuff does 150,000. And since we have all of the stuff to make it, I thought it was a good idea to do that. So yeah, I went around and I replaced all of our current conduit with that. All right, so let's get rid of these. Whoa, that was a mistake. Are they not coming out? Oh, now they're coming out. Block them in. Okay. Yeah, that was a mistake. Oh, they can hit me through the thing. That's not very nice, guys. Okay, so let's get rid of these guys. Go on. Go on. One at a time. Oh, we got a ding. Get them all? Okay, I think we're fine. Yeah, I gotta be really careful with this. Not to break that open with there's a whole bunch of zombies there. Not like they are gonna be able to kill us or anything, but still, you know, this pick is super fast. Okay, so another thing, like I said, I wanted to do was set this up to be some kind of an automated thing. That goes the other way. Okay, let's get in here and place it the correct way. All right. So we should theoretically be able to do this automatically. Let's. Oh, this thing. That's right. It doesn't come with any augments in there, so I can't set the faces on this thing. We're gonna want this. We're gonna want it to be first slot only, although I don't think that matters. I think you can do any of these, and since there's only one item, it's always going to use that, but we'll just set it to first slot only. We want left click. Aim level's fine, so we do have to give this thing power. Yeah, we got our conduit right there. All right, let's come over here real quick and grab some more conduit. I did also set up our automations in the last millennium to have the Technicolor essence. So now we're collecting a decent amount of this. Now the reason why we need that is this insulated redstone conduit requires this insulating glass, which requires glass, some kind of green dye. So we're using the Technicolor to make this, and then it required iron dust. So I pulverized a stack of iron. Yep, and we got the dye coming from the last millennium. Anyway, it just makes everything so much easier using the magical crops for that. All right, so we want to bring this like so, and then I'll break another block and then connect this over. Connect that over here like a so, not like that, like that. Okay, so now this thing should have all the power. All right, it's filling up just fine. Place this guy back here. All right, so we should be able to technically do this automated, which will be pretty nice. Hey, we got a zombie that spawned over here. How did that happen? Maybe that was one of the call for help zombies when I was smacking them over here. I was gonna say we shouldn't be able to get any zombies spawning because of this magnum torch. That's gotta be what it was, is I hit one, it called for help, spawned another zombie over there. But anyway, let's go and turn this thing on and just see if we hear zombies dying. That's what we should be hearing. All right, so that looks like that's working. Although I'm not seeing any zombie heads. Why am I not seeing any zombie heads? Does that not work on a Thomas activator? Kills it with a beheading sword. I think that's probably what it is. I don't think we'll be able to do it automated in that sort of a way. Let me go and turn this thing off. We got too many loot bags in here. Carrots we don't want. These boots we don't want. Okay, so are we still killing zombies over here? Yeah, we are definitely not getting zombie heads. Okay, so that is not a way that we can get those, unfortunately. Okay, well, it was worth a try. Let's turn this thing off. I'm just gonna farm these things by hand, and hopefully we'll be able to make all the controller blocks that we need. So anyway, let me get back to it, and we will be right back, guys. All right, guys. Well, I went ahead and I made up the 22 more of these ME controllers, and we're missing 2, and those are the ones that are sitting right there. Yeah, so we made just enough to make this whole top ring. So we ran out of the concentrated cloud seed, so I had to make that, and it took forever for us to make the resonant machine frames, and I filled out the rest of our lasers here. We're only 7 wide and we can go 11 wide. So yeah, we added a bunch more lasers. So that's the full 11 by 11 right up there. Let's see. We're probably pretty much out of power. It's probably filling back up now. Yeah, we're getting 7,000 RF per tick. We're only getting like 2,000 or 3,000 RF per tick when the lasers were going. But anyway, we've been doing a lot of stuff that's requiring a lot of power, and hopefully we'll be able to get that solved here pretty soon as far as our power requirements go. So we need to get the power to our new controller, and we'll just do it right like this. So that should power this thing up. We do need to disconnect this and then get these cables all connected to our new controller. Now, before we do anything, is there anything that I'm going to have to worry about here? Our connection over to the last millennium, that's going to be disconnected here pretty quick when we connect this up. I think we should be about ready to go. I guess there's not too many things that could go wrong here if we disconnect things. I do want to make sure that I have plenty of ME glass cable on me, so when we do connect it, I can get things hooked back up. Let's grab some of those. Oh, we only got like 4. I might want more than that. Can we craft up, I don't know, like 20 just to have just a few extra on us? Okay, I think we should be good. Another thing we're going to want is a memory card, and I don't think we've made one of those yet. Yeah, let's see. What does it cost to make a memory card? So memory card costs a calculation, some iron ingots, gold, and redstone. That's not bad. Let's craft one of those guys. So the memory card we need to use to link our P2Ps, which I did create a few of them. Let's take a look at this. So yeah, I added in 5 P2Ps here. I added in 5 red dense-ME cables. Like I said, all these cables that we're sending on P2Ps that are connected to our controller here, I definitely want to make sure they're red so I can differentiate those between other connections that are just our regular connections. So anyway, so we got these all hooked up here. I think we should be good to go to disconnect stuff. We good? Is there anything else I need to think about? Hopefully not. Let's disconnect it. We're going to turn off our whole ME system here. This goes right here. I need to break that cable and replace it. There we go. That looks like it's still connected. It still had power, so maybe we didn't disconnect over in the last millennium. I guess we'll have to find out when we get everything else connected again. So this needs to be connected to one of our ME controller faces here. I'm not sure which one we're going to do, but anyway, let's finish this ring here. We'll add in our last 2 controllers. We'll just add in one. Where's our other controller block? I know I broke 2 of them. So where did it go? Guess we'll grab the magnet. It probably flew away somewhere. All right, we got it now. So controller goes there. All right, so there is a full 7x7 ring controller. Yeah, we still gotta do another one of those on the bottom and add in these pillars or whatever. So we have all of these faces available for things later on. Okay, so this needs to be connected. This is, yeah, that's running our current auto crafting stuff. Let's just connect that right here, and then we can disconnect this other cable. All right, and I guess this cable here will connect back up to here. For now, we'll rearrange this to make it better. That'll connect back up to there so we can have access to our items. And then we also need our storage connected. We'll do that. I'll have to rearrange all these things, but I think that should get everything back online. Let's go take a look. Make sure we have access to our items. We have access to our items, but the stuff in the last millennium is not here. Okay, so we talked about setting something up before, so this would auto connect, but we haven't done that yet. So what we have to do is just come back to the last millennium and just flip the lever until we get a signal here. Turn that on, wait for it to light up, and then we should be good. So we just kind of jump start it. What we could do to get this thing to auto connect, I think what we would have to do is emit a redstone signal. Like if this, we would connect item level, a level emitter connected to this thing. They'd be checking the level of our system for a certain item, something we're always going to have in there, cobblestone or nether stars, or I don't know, something like that. And if it doesn't detect that, it would turn off, and then this would send the signal up here to start the power back up. When this thing connected again, it would see that there's items and it would turn back off. Anyway, I think that's what I've done before to get that, so it's not always using RF power. That might be something we hook up here pretty soon. Yeah, that's like the second time today I've had to go back there and restart that because we've been messing around with our controller and stuff. But now that we're not going to be messing around with this, that connection is going to be pretty much permanent here. Unless we move the ring. I don't think we're going to have to mess with that too much. But anyway, let's get these other guys connected over here. We have those on the P2P connections, but we don't have these P2Ps linked anywhere. So our memory card, we will grab a connection from, let's do it from here. We'll shift right click on this to save the settings to the card. We can just right click here. And that should link up to the system here in just a second. It says missing channel. Now it says online. Now it says we're using 4 channels. Okay, so that's good. We're going to connect this one to this side. And again, it'll do the same thing. It'll say device is missing channel. Give it a second. It'll link up and it'll say we're using 4 channels. There it is. Okay, so now these guys are hooked up. All right, so both of our crafting stuff on this side is now hooked up through P2Ps. We need to do the same thing on this side so we can have the full 32 channels. So we can have our tower stacked up 7 blocks tall, and then we should be able to add in the CPUs on each one of these little spots like we're trying to do for the other 4 channels. Yeah, and then we'll be using 32 channels per corner for all of our auto crafting. I think that's going to end up being pretty cool. All right, well, you know what, guys? I think we're going to go and wrap the episode up here for today. We got a lot of good stuff done. Our applied energistics system is coming along quite nicely. We're still need to finish up the rest of the controller, and then we can start permanently running our wires and getting everything hooked up and being automated, and that's going to be super awesome. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.